Where's the audio? Oh my god.
I know. Y'all are confused. So was I. But as they say, this too shall pass.
I can't believe transit is back. Like, that's what it is, right? It's gotta be transit. What a crazy decision. Ted, oh fuck.
Like mowing the lawn of flesh.
What the hell? This is Black Ops 7. Oh. The nostalgia's working. Like, hearing the original crew's voice is like... Oh, it takes me back, man. What the fuck is that wonder weapon? They got the Skelly gun in Black Ops 7. This looks good. I think that's what it always looks like though, right? Like, it always looks good. Evil Bear.
Play zombie survival in the beta.
Evil Bear from Evil Game. No. No. I was trying to rewind it. Why are you putting an ad? Why is there ads at the end of the video? What is the purpose?
Lose the hat and regrow the hair?
No! I still have hair. Leave me alone, I have hair. I'm not bald. Let's look at this. This looks like Resident Evil 7 intro. So this is transit, right? As far as I understand, this is transit from Black Ops 1. And now we're gonna get a Wonder Vehicle, I believe it's called. Which is so interesting because not only are we nostalgia baiting, but we're nostalgia baiting with the most divisive map probably in zombies history. For some people, it's the worst map ever. For some people, it's one of their favorites. It's such an interesting choice to go with this. You know what I mean? And there's new locations, it looks like. But I do think one of the biggest issues with transit was transit. Like getting around, transportation. So giving us a car that we get to control and go wherever we want rather than waiting for the bus. There's the diner. Could help with that kind of frustration, especially when you're doing the Easter egg and stuff. Transit is divisive, yeah. Absolutely. But it's one of those things, right, where that's why it's divisive. It's split up because there's a lot of people who have a lot of nostalgia for it. Because Black Ops 2, I said Black Ops 1 earlier, I meant Black Ops 2. But because Black Ops 2 is just special to a lot of people, and myself included, I like transit because I didn't get to play the DLCs till later, right? I didn't have the money for the DLC. I was lucky to have the game, so I would just play transit in town and farm over and over again, right? And for that reason, it's nostalgic. But when you look at it, especially compared to the other Black Ops 2 maps, it's not as good. Die Rise, also pretty divisive, but imagine having money for DLCs as a kid. Wild. Yeah, exactly. Like you're lucky you got the game. I never liked that map. I'll play it with friends, but there are better maps. That's exactly kind of where it is, right? Like, it's not a horrible map. It's not, oh, I'm gonna play transit and have the worst time of my life. No. But I'd rather play Mob of the Dead even now. I have nostalgia for transit, but I'd rather play Mob. I'd rather play Origins. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's an interesting first map for Black Ops 7. And Black Ops 7 is supposed to be a sequel to Black Ops 2. Which is, what the flip am I even saying? You know what I mean? Because 2, 7, Like, if you want to play these chronologically now. Like, what is Black Ops anymore? What is Call of Duty? If this is the timeline where we have to sit and if we want to play the campaigns in order, now we gotta jump around like that. Like, it's obvious that Activision is trying to play off of the nostalgia. Black Ops 2, one of the best CODs ever made. For some people, the best COD ever made. It's just like, what are we doing? COD is so meta, I'm not gonna lie. That's fair. I wouldn't even say it's a hot take anymore. I would say the general thing is that it's okay at best. Bad on some days. Modern Warfare 3, I'm looking at you. But like, now we're sitting here, we're watching a trailer for Transit 2. Just the same slop year after year with Nostalgia Day. Exactly. And that's where I have a lot of issues. Like, we're talking slop, like literal slop. There's good things to the games. Black Ops 6 had a great campaign. The zombies, fun. Not amazing, but fun. The slop comes in with, they're using AI in microtransactions. Like, I have to pull out my wallet to pay $20, $10, $5, doesn't matter. To pay any amount of money because one of their employees typed in a prompt and then put a price tag on that. Isn't that crazy? And like, props to the 3D artists. Because for a lot of those content packs, you do get gun skins, you do get character skins, and at this point in time, hopefully this doesn't age poorly, at this point in time, AI for 3D modeling is nowhere near as good. Like, you can tell if it's AI immediately. It looks awful most of the time. So these 3D models are handcrafted, and a lot of them are incredible. The animations for like the mastercraft weapons, sorry, and stuff are super nice, super cool animations. But it's just weird, you know, that they're selling like this, this actual like AI slop, and it's just a product of, well, rushing things out, of course. The devs are not lazy. I'm sure there's plenty of artists that are more than willing to draw up some cool stuff. But Activision is choosing AI because it's cheaper and faster. And that sucks. That absolutely sucks. And like, we're paying for it. We're literally paying for it. It's an insult to injury, salt in the wound, to make it to where we have to pay extra. Some people paid $70, $120 for the Ultimate Edition of Black Ops 6, and then they have to pay more for AI. Like, what are we doing? what are we doing? Let's be real. Advanced Warfare is so underrated, it's crazy. I think it's properly rated. Personally, I think it's good. But that's it. Zombies was interesting, especially that was that last map called the space one. It has some interesting things, like the 3D printer and stuff is like kind of funny. There were things about Advanced Warfare. They're pretty cool. The movement was cool. I know people like really dunked on the movement, but it had its moments. It had its place, right? I think Black Ops 3 had the best movement, and that's apparently what we're going back to with Black Ops 7. Is the exo movement, but not like Advanced Warfare where like you're jetpacking around, but more so you get a double jump, wall run, stuff like that, which I like. I think that's a good balance and in between, but I'm also a huge Titanfall 2 fan, so that kind of movement to me does not ruin the experience, but for a lot of people it does, and that's fair too. The movement was amazing. I loved it. Titanfall 2 movement, yes. Titanfall 2, sorry, that was probably loud. Titanfall 2 is an incredible shooter, probably my favorite FPS. Multiplayer and campaign wise. The campaign was incredible. Look, I like the new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order games, but Respawn, EA, Titanfall 3. That's all I want. Let's go back to this trailer. Welcome in. I hope you're doing well, by the way. Oh, I didn't notice that, is that a field upgrade? Like the Tesla Storm and the, what's it called? Ether Shroud, stuff like that. Like those little, the Glorbus is what I've always called it. I don't know why I've always called it the Glorbus, but because of that, I can't think of the real name. I think on stream one time we called it Glorbus and it stuck, but it's the little special ability you get in zombies. I forget the name. But this looks like a new one. It's like a little vine trap and stuff. That's really cool. I'm done with COD after Black Ops 6. Totally fair. Totally fair. I don't even blame you for that. I played all the maps. I think Terminus is genuinely one of the best maps we've had in zombies. Everything else though, you know, I don't know. Everything else, it's give or take. I think Citadel de Moria was pretty interesting. I think that the tomb was visually very pretty and the ice staff was very fun. Honestly, I don't even remember much about the Reckoning. Same, unless it's free with Game Pass, I won't be playing it or buying anything. Yeah, for Black Ops 6, I played it entirely through Game Pass, which is probably why I was more forgiving, right? Because I wasn't $70 in the hole when I played it. But for a lot of people, they were. They spent the money because they're excited, and they ended up getting a half-baked game. And it's gonna have a half-baked predecessor in a few months. Right, so it's like... It's difficult to justify buying Black Ops or Call of Duty anymore, in general. Which is weird, like, we're getting a Black Ops 7 a year after Black Ops 6. Like, what happened to the whole cycle? Are we just at a point where, like, Activision is the only one who can make, like, a competent COD? A decent COD? So it's just gonna be Black Ops every year? Because, like, we can't trust the other ones? I think, was it Infinity Ward? Or was it Sledgehammer? They did Modern Warfare, the second Modern Warfare one. I don't even know what to call that. Modern Warfare 2019, I think was the year it was. But you know what I'm talking about? Skilly, what do you think would restore COD to its former glory? I think it's difficult because realistically, it just wouldn't work. A lot of us, myself included even to an extent, want it to be how it was. Want it to feel how it used to, have some of the mechanics that it used to. But realistically, things have to evolve over time. That's just what it is. So can it ever go back to how it was? No, realistically. But if you're talking former glories in the sense of just like what can make it as good as it was, even if it's different, there's some clear things right away that need to be addressed. Microtransaction hell. We gotta get out of here. We have to find a way to make progression rewarding. I think loadouts, one of the worst things added to zombies, because if you start with an assault rifle, it kind of takes away from that experience, that frantic nature of the first few rounds of like, it takes the pace out of it, right? I found myself going like up to round 20 before even buying a gun or hitting the mystery box. It was rarely a priority to hit the mystery box because you could start with whatever gun you want. So I would start with the gun I knew I was going to use for the final boss and then lose that. So I think that's like a point for zombies that should be restored. You should start with the pistol. I miss the idea of like when you complete all the Easter eggs, you get a better starting pistol. But for the most part, it's like we don't need to start with like an LMG, right? Round base 1911 start is the only zombies. I mean, yeah, I think realistically, it was better for the pace of zombies to have a pistol starting weapon. I think the perk limit can be raised, but I don't think it needs to be unlimited, unless you have a perkaholic or something, because 4 is too little. Based on how zombies is now, 4 is too little. But like, I was having like 10 perks at the end game of like Black Ops 6, like almost indestructible. And I think that makes the power scaling really weird, so I think limit the perks again. I think on top of that note, I think that maybe the upgrading systems of weapons is a bit weird because it doesn't really work. What it should have done is make it to where any weapon's viable if you upgrade it. But instead it just continued the same way where like you only want these 5 weapons because these are the meta, and then the wonder weapon upgraded, and like it just created the same problem where like every map had its like niche or meta. And it was like, okay, then this isn't making every weapon viable, it's literally just funneling you down the same path where like this weapon with this attachment's upgraded to level 5, whatever, was still the best option. It's like, we're creating the same issue. Yeah, I agree. I think COD over-evolved, changed too much, and now people wanted to return form. Yeah, the simplicity was addicting. I can agree. It doesn't need to go back to completely simple, right? Like, we're not talking like, okay, let's go back to Black Ops 4. But I think Black Ops 3, personally, is my favorite zombies. And it had a good balance of, like, freedom. You had good movement. You had, good, like, variety, right, with like weapons and builds and stuff. Um, but it wasn't overtuned to where like it's just this mess of mechanics all like taped together. With mods on PC, at least, I know some of you don't have PC, but on PC, I can boot up Black Ops 3 right now and play any map leading up to Black Ops 3. I can even play Black Ops 1 maps because modders have like put them in. I can play Mob of the Dead in Black Ops 3 just as good as Zombies Chronicles. Like they remastered it to the T. COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 are second and third runner-ups. I can almost agree with that list. I think Modern Warfare 2, the original, is up there. Black Ops 3, and then third place, I think World at War has a really special place in my heart. It was my first COD, and I love the multiplayer. I can play Minecraft on Black Ops 3. That's peak. Exactly. Exactly. I can go into Shrek's Swamp in Black Ops 3. Have you guys played that map? If you played Customs, the Shrek map by Ice Grenade, it's actually incredible. To get perks on that level, you literally have to go into this room with a bunch of ingredients, a witch's cauldron, and you read the ingredients off the wall that you find around. And you can put Eye of Newt, Dragon's Tooth, Frog's Fart into a cauldron, and then you get the perk. Like, that is so creative. Stuff like that. That's innovation. An underrated COD for the zombies. I didn't really like the multiplayer that much, but for the zombies, Infinite Warfare. Underrated zombies. I'm sorry. I'm happy to see the original crew back. Wait, hold on. We didn't even notice that chat. Hold on. Wisp T. The cans almost look like Deadshot Daiquiri or something, but I don't know. But it's just interesting that the can looks so different from the little machine. You'd think it'd be like bluish or something. Anyway, irrelevant. I don't know what this perk can be. We got the Skelly Wonder Weapon. Look. What do you guys think about the Wonder Vehicle? How do you feel about that? Having a car that you can drive around in zombies. To me, it's give and take. I think that it fixes one of the issues with transit in that you can choose where and when you want to go somewhere rather than waiting for the bus. But it also seeps in with that feeling of like Warzone, right? And that everlasting effect that Warzone has had on zombies. But like, we're in a situation again where like driving around at your own will means that they have to design the map in a way to where like it's very open. Are we gonna end up with a lot of dead space? Dead Space reference. Having this car, does that mean there's gonna be a lot of just like useless areas? I don't know. It could be cool. I'm sure it'll be fun to drive. It's a wonder vehicle, right? So you have this like what's it called, Margwa? Or maybe that's the abomination from Black Ops, or the newer Black Ops games. I can't tell. You have like the Margwa heads on the front. You have Ted and this like Wonderwaff looking turret. It could be fun to drive this around. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because if you don't have the car, is it going to be boring? If you're walking around, is it going to be less interesting? Or will there be things to do in between that could like incentivize you to get out the car every now and then? You know what I mean? And I could already see, I'm gonna call it now. Future Skelly. If this is a thing, you have to bring this clip back up. But is it gonna be a thing where high round strategy involves just like blocking a doorway with this car? And like camping with like whatever the wonder weapon is until round 6 million? You know what I mean? I'm gonna call that now. I lost interest when they started doing too much with zombies. I feel like, yeah, like they definitely got to a point where they overtuned it, put too many mechanics, it got complicated, and it lost some of that charm, we'll say. It sucks because this trailer makes me excited a little bit, you know what I mean? We got the original crew back, but they do look very different. Wait, look at these enemies in the fog. These are not denizens, are they? Super denizens? Imagine knowing the zombie storyline. I used to follow it.